My name is Bill Watson, and I'm a 26-year-old technical surgeon in the USAF, currently deployed in Afghanistan as either a sniper or spotter alongside my close friend and fellow staff sergeant, Tom Cassini. I enlisted right after high school, continuing a family tradition of military service. My father retired after 26 years in the service and now lives in Central Texas. My grandparents also reside in a Central Texas retirement community, with my grandfather having served 30 years in the Air Force. My great-grandfather served in the Army Air Corps during World War II, so military life has always been part of my heritage. I met and married my wonderful wife, Marion Wilson, while studying in Mississippi. Her parents, former Air Force members, are considering retirement in Central Florida. We were thrilled when I was transferred to Patrick AFB in Florida, near Melbourne, where Marion's parents, Sam and Misty, live. Our son, Sean, was born there about 3 years ago, making it convenient to have reliable babysitters so close by. To save for our children's future, I started a small cleaning service. It began with cleaning our church and expanded to final inspections of base housing. Over time, our company grew, employing about 10 to 12 people. We now mostly manage the business, with Marion handling accounting and scheduling, while I focus on sales and oversight. Our clients include a small strip center, a 3-story office building, and various base housing cleanings. We employ military-connected individuals, including spouses and a few men for heavy work. I had been an avionics systems technician for most of my 8 years in the service, but they recently were looking for snipers for the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. Since I had qualified expert on my last 3 firearms qualifications, I was asked if I wanted to try out for a sniper team. The hazardous duty pay was sweet, and I wanted to try it. Marion agreed. Sean was now 3 and growing like a weed. I ended up going to train with Marine and Army snipers at their training center in Georgia. There, I met Tom Cassini from upstate New York. Somehow, we were the only USAF members at the school at the time. So we decided to team up and make a USAF-only team. Most of the other service members also tended to stay with their own service, but we did have a couple of Army-Marine teams. At the end of school, Tom and I ended up ranking 3rd and 4th behind an Army-Marine team. Tom had been stationed at McGuire AFB, New Jersey, but was transferred down to Patrick from where we went TDY, temporary duty station, to Afghanistan. We had been there for about 8 months of an 18-month TDY and had been on numerous missions. I was able to talk to Marion, Sean, and both my parents and in-laws, either over the phone or using Skype. It made missing my wife and son a little easier, but it was still no substitute for being home. One day, while talking to my wife, I saw the shadow of someone in the background of the picture on the computer I was using Skype on. I asked her if that was Sean I saw in the background, and she said that he was at her folks' house for the week. They wanted to have some time with him too. It must have been one of the cleaning people checking in. It was about 2 o'clock in the afternoon there, so I didn't think anything about it. The next day, I got a phone call from my buddy, Don Sterling. He is a very close friend, and he and his wife sometimes help out with cleaning and babysitting. He said, "Bill, my boy, I have some really bad news to tell you. Marion is cheating on you." I was shocked and almost passed out from the surprise. "You have got to be joking, right?" "No such luck, buddy boy. I got proof right here on my phone." He continued, explaining that he came by to check on Marion yesterday afternoon and to see if she had anything for us this weekend. She didn't answer the door, but he saw her car. So he turned the knob, and it was open. He strolled in, and right there in the kitchen, he saw her in a compromising position with another man. He mentioned that the man was rather well endowed, which might explain her interest. I hated to be the bearer of such bad news, buddy, but I thought you should know about this right away. That statement hit me like a ton of bricks. Dawn, I don't know what to think. I mean, I know it has been a long 8 months, but she's already replacing me. Yeah, it looks that way, buddy. What do you want me to do, Don? Keep an eye on her and make sure he is the only one. If she has others, then I can get Sean away from her as an unfit mother. She said that Sean was at Grandma's house over in Melbourne for the week, so keep checking and make sure you get pictures. I want proof positive that she is cheating on me. Wait, remember that office building we do? Isn't there an attorney that we clean for there? Yeah, Bill, it's Stain and Green something. You want me to see them and see what can be done from here. You should talk to the legal eagles there too and see if they can suggest something. Yeah, Don, you check with them and make sure you give them everything you can get on her. Man, this really pisses me off. Here I'm limited and she is getting by. Yeah, keep up the good work and keep me informed. Yeah, Bill, I really hated to be the one to break it to you, but I felt it had to be done. Marion and I loved you guys just like family. Make sure nobody knows about this, but you and me, Don. I don't want anyone else to know about this except you and the lawyers. We keep this firmly under our hats until I can get something started. Do I need to wire you some money to hire the lawyer? Find out, will you? And thanks, Don, I really appreciate this. I thought Marion was solid, but I guess not. Call me if you find out anything from Stein or more dirt. No problem, Bill. Talk to you soon. I sat back in the chair and just slumped down. My heart felt like it was in a million pieces, and the top of my head just blew off. Man, how could Marion do that to us? We had been happily married for over 6 years now. Why now? Was it because I was gone? I mean, we had a real good intimate life, at least 2 to 3 times a week. Sometimes when we had a weekend off, it was 2 or 3 times a day. We did everything together. I wasn't small by any means. I know from showers in high school, and even here, that I'm bigger than most guys. What to do? That was my first question. I needed to get to the legal office. I needed help in a big way. I went over to the headquarters building to see if I could get an appointment to see a lawyer. I entered and saw an army sergeant at the desk. She was kind of cute, and I asked her if I could speak to a lawyer. She asked why, and I said it was personal and about a possible divorce. She said, "Please have a seat and let me see who's available." She went through another door in the building and was only gone about a minute before she reappeared and said, "Follow me." She showed me into a room with a full bird colonel who stood up as we walked in. "Colonel Lane, this is Technical Sergeant Watson, and he needs your assistance." She then walked out and closed the door. The colonel came around the desk with his hand out and said, "Pleased to meet you, Sergeant Watson. Please sit and tell all about it." He went behind the desk again and pulled out a legal pad and said, "Go ahead, take your time, and tell me everything you know." I explained everything I had learned from my friend Don. I even told him about Don trying to find a lawyer there to also look into this mess. By the time I was finished with my story, I was weeping like a baby. Great racking sobs were shaking my body, and I felt like a mass of jelly piled on the seat of the chair. I was wrung out. I wasn't even sure I could get up and walk out of there. I heard the colonel pick up a phone and make a call. "Vic, this is Charlie. I have someone in my office you need to come talk to." Yes, he got a call from home that was not good. No, not that. Yeah, that he needs some time and a helping hand. He typed something on his computer, then said, "Try to get a hold of USAF Staff Sergeant Tom Cassini and see if he can help too. No, he'll be fine in my office for now, but come as soon as you can." "Thanks, Vic. See you soon." "Now, son, I have some help coming for you. Someone who can really help you, and your partner Tom will be coming too if we can find him. So you just sit tight, and we'll get you some help. I can go somewhere else so you can have your office back. I'll just go out to the other room and let you get back to work. I don't want to disturb you." "Nonsense, Bill. I'm never too busy for someone like you. I know this has been a big shock to you, but it will get better with time. It will probably take a lot of time for the hurt to go away, but it will. I know the hurt you're going through from first-hand experience. It still hurts a little, even after 10 years, but it does get to where you can manage the pain of betrayal. It also helps to find someone who can help you get over the pain and realize that you are still lovable and worth being with someone who loves you. I know it's hard. It took almost 5 years to get over my betrayal before I could look forward to living again. I know this doesn't help much, but I was so down. I thought that ending it all would give me the peace I needed. But an angel of mercy found me, brought me back from the brink of destruction, and helped heal most of my hurts. Now, I try to help people like you and me, who have been betrayed by someone we trusted and loved with all our hearts. It has helped me cope with the pain. I hope this helps, talking to someone who has gone through this same grief and lived to see the light at the other end of the tunnel, and not just a train I first thought I saw that was going to destroy me and my life. I just sat there, taking it all in. Here was another lost soul who had been where I am now, and he looked none the worse for wear. Someone had found him and brought him back, so maybe there was hope for me too. Maybe. I sat in that chair in the colonel's office and thought about everything that he had said about what he had gone through. Was I any different than him? Was I better or worse than him? Could I do this, come back from the brink? I didn't know, but I knew one thing. Well, two things, actually. One, I would make it out of this mess. I had to, because of Sean. He deserved better than a bad mother and a crazy father. Secondly, I needed to make sure that Mary would never be around Sean again. She wasn't even fit to be a mother, let alone the mother of my child. She would be someone I could hate for the rest of my life, and not feel bad about it. She didn't deserve to be a mother with the way she was running around just because this guy had something she found exciting. What if she went after another man because he had something more appealing? What's to say she wouldn't do it again with someone else? Or maybe she already had. I didn't know, but did I really want to know how long this had been going on? I wasn't really sure I wanted to know. If she had been betraying me for years, then I would probably want to kill her with my bare hands, just strangle her until her lifeless eyes closed forever. That way, I would know that she would never betray another poor fool again. Then it hit me. Her parents. Did they know and hide it from me? I really didn't think so. I had called them Mom and Pop since before we married. They were like my family, closer than my own. I needed to let them know, but would they tell their daughter about my plans? I didn't think so, but she was their daughter, and as they say, blood is thicker than water. I would have to tread carefully there. There was a soft knock at the door, and Father Vittorio Barducci came in, followed by my partner Tom. Tom came to me, got down on his knees, and hugged me. Father Vic told me what had happened. Buddy, please come back to us. We need you here and now. I know this has to hurt real bad, but you have to come back for Sean's sake. You don't want her to have him, do you? I shook my head, unable to trust myself to speak. Then dig deep, Bill. You need to buck up and get through this. I can help, and so can Father Vic. We're here for you, buddy. Remember that. Tom added, I know that, and I've got a friend at home, Don. He's looking into everything. He'll keep me informed. He even has a picture of one guy with Mary bent over the kitchen table. He thinks there are more of them too. He's contacting a lawyer back there to start the proceedings. I'm sorry I just fell apart like I did, but it suddenly hit me when I was telling my story to the colonel. Let's go back to the tent, and maybe I can get some sleep. I'm pretty sure we have a mission coming up. I think we're next in the rotation. Bill, don't worry about that. I can get the rotation changed. Besides, we may even get you some emergency leave to go back and confront your wife and get your divorce started. Who is this Don who's helping you back home? Asked the colonel. Colonel Lane, he's Don Sterling. He's in my phone list. He was going to see a law firm, Stain and Green something. We can't remember who, but they're on Atlantic Drive, just south of Sunrise Avenue in Indian Harbor Beach, Florida. My cleaning company does their offices for them. You own a cleaning company, Sergeant? Yeah, me and my cheating wife own and run a small cleaning company with about 10 to 12 employees. The guy my wife was with is one of our employees, or was, until I get back to fire him. Why are both names on the company as officers? Just mine. I started the company and asked my wife to help out with some cleaning. Then she took over scheduling and bookkeeping. I'm the president and sales guy. Is that important, Colonel? Yes, I think it is. Did you submit to the state for a business ID and all that? Yeah, I got the legal office on base to set up all the paperwork, and they submitted everything for me. I have a state and federal ID number for my taxes and for paying my employees, so everything is above board. I collect taxes on my employees and send everything to the IRS 4 times a year. Great, Bill, you did everything right. Now we need to get you settled down, and I'll contact Dawn and get the lawyer's name and number. I'll handle it from here until we can get your new lawyer up to speed on everything. Then we'll see what you want to do next. Why don't you and Tom go on back to your tent, and I'll notify your commanding officer about you needing some time off right now. Thank you, Colonel Lane. I'd appreciate a couple of days off to try and sort out my feelings and emotions concerning this mess. Then I think I need to go on a real mission. I'll probably need to blow off some steam, and shooting calms me down a lot. Colonel Lane replied, Bill's not kidding when he says that shooting calms him down. We're both so mellow after a mission that it's like we're floating on air for a couple of days afterward. Our Southeast, Major Kelly, says he likes the way we approach a mission. We're all uptight right after the briefing, but once we set out, we become all business. When we get back, it's like party time. He says he wishes all his snipers could learn to be like us. Are you both snipers? Asked Father Barducci. Yes, Father, we're both qualified, and we take turns depending on our rest periods. One of us shoots, and the other spots. We have no competition as to who is the best. When we graduated sniper school, our ranking was just a few points apart, just like our counts. We, as a team, have 54 confirmed and 23 possibles between us, but I'm not sure either one of us could tell you what each has individually. I think we're about even, but we don't care about that. We do our job to the best of our ability, and that's all that matters to us. We are a team, and what affects one of us affects the other. Just like what glory one gets, the other also shares the glory. I think that's one of the reasons our Southeast puts us on the tough missions, because he knows we'll get the job done. That's very commendable, Tom. One spirit with 2 bodies and 2 minds. You really are a team, a formidable team, I might add. I second that emotion, Vic, said Colonel Lane. You can see what happened when Tom came into the office. His first concern was his partner, and then it was to get all the information he could, and then figure out how to resolve the situation. They are a real team, just like you said. 2 bodies, but 1 spirit. Yes, it is. It's so refreshing to see in young people today that they have pride and responsibility for others, and not the me attitude that a lot of them are developing. Colonel Lane wrote down Don's number. Then Tom and I left the office while Father Barducci and the Colonel talked some more. Tom helped me back to our tent, and I took a couple of aspirin and lay down on my cot. I was out like a light. It was about 2:30 a.m. when I went back to the tent, so most everyone was gone. We slept in the midnight to 8:00 a.m. tent because we normally deployed at night, so we bunked down with the night shifters. I didn't even hear anyone moving around until I glanced at my watch and noticed it was 10:15. Since I noticed the lighter-colored tent wall, I gathered it was daytime now, even with a double-wall tent during daylight. Over here, the tents weren't really all that dark, but it did help. Once I stirred, Tom was by my side, asking how I felt. I had slept 8 hours, and I felt okay, but mighty hungry. Let me drain the lizard and we can see about early chow. How about it, Bill? You slept through all day yesterday. Today's Thursday. We met with Colonel Lane late Tuesday evening, or more properly, early Wednesday morning. It's now Thursday, the 15th of March, so I would have to say you needed that shutdown. You and I have an appointment with the Colonel tonight at 2400 hours, so let's go and get some grub. I slept the clock around and then some. Wow, I really must have been strung tight to sleep that long. I didn't even sleep that long when we came in from Mission 27. We had been up for, 120 hours, wasn't it? We were awake 122 hours and about 17 minutes until we dragged ourselves into our bunks and slept for 18 hours straight. You just slept a little over 34 hours straight. So yeah, I think tapping a kidney and eating are definitely in order. Even some of our tent mates were a little worried after a whole day dead to the world. I'll tell you about some phone calls you got while you were out of it. Makes for interesting reading, believe me. I had time to type up the conversations while you got your beauty sleep. I think that's why the Colonel wants to talk to us tonight. I understand he's been burning up the wires between here and Florida. We left the tent and hit the latrine. After I had put a clean uniform on, we walked to the chow hall. Several of my tent mates said hi and made a little joke about Sleeping Beauty. When we got to the chow hall, we ran into Sergeant Lillian Rester, the cute one from the JG office. Well, welcome back to the land of the living. Are you feeling better now, Sergeant Watson? We were all a little worried about you crashing for so long. I guess it was a healthy reboot for your systems, because you look a whole lot better now than you did when you came in the other night. I'm sure glad you came back to us. Maybe you can start living again. Hey, I know that look. No, I don't know all the circumstances, but I would guess a Dear John over Skype. We get a few every month. And boy, some of the guys and gals don't take it as well as you seem to, at first. I guess you were still in shock until you got a talk with the Colonel. He's a great guy and understands what happens better than some of the other JAGs we have here. I think that's why he takes the later shifts, with the time difference and all. It seems most crashes occur in the wee hours of the morning here, which is afternoon back home. Thank you for your concern, Sergeant Rester. I think the reboot analogy was about right. My body and my mind needed a reboot, and now I am much better. Would you care to eat lunch with us? Normally I really would, but I think Tom here has some important info to give you, and I'm sure you'd rather keep that private. I know some stuff because I have to transcribe a lot of documents and monitor emails, but don't worry. Most of that stuff goes in one ear and out the other. Otherwise I'd be a mental wreck, and out of a good job too. Maybe dinner this evening. We could meet here at 6. I'll even bring my friend, Emmy, too. Why would you bring a friend? Asked Tom. Well, who would you have to talk to if I came alone? Dude, I think you found a fan. Well, maybe so. I just figure any man that can take a blow like his must have been and come back 2 days later acting normal has got to be interesting to talk to. Besides, what 2 super secret flyboys are doing on an army post like this one has got to be a good story. See you tonight, flyboys. Sergeant Rester left us standing just inside the entrance of the chow hall. I shook my head and said, was she flirting with me, or am I reading more into her banter? Bill, buddy, she is definitely flirting with you. I think I'm going to check out this Amy chick. I don't think I've run across anyone named Amy here before, but I think you were saying you were starving, right? Well, let's see if we can fill that bottomless pit you have there, and maybe get back to rest up for tonight. I managed to eat 2 slices of meatloaf, 3 slices of roast beef, a double helping of mashed potatoes and gravy, 4 vegetable bowls, 2 slices of apple pie, and 1 cup of ice cream. During all this eating, Tom told me that Dawn had called twice, and then the lawyer had called. Tom had him call the Colonel. Dawn got some more pictures of a captain we did some cleaning for, and another guy that worked for us every so often. Well, that made it better for me getting Sean, but it also angered me some more. But I didn't explode or even implode like before. It just proved to me what kind of person I had married. Tom and I left the chow hall and went to the gym. After a while, we went back to our tent, and I took a nap. I wanted to be fresh and awake for our supper. I figured we could make the late breakfast before our meeting with the Colonel at midnight. I took a shower and dressed up again. Tom and I headed for the chow hall. We had only been hanging out at the entrance for about 5 minutes when Sergeant Rester and a young Marine corporal joined us. We went in, got our meal, and sat at a table out of the way. Actually, the same one I ate lunch at today with Tom. We were introduced to Lillian again, and then Marine Corporal Amy Stevens. It was kind of funny that Tom took to Amy right off. Both were from upstate New York. Tom from Rochester, and Amy from Geneva near the Finger Lakes. They were born and raised about 50 miles apart, as the crow flies. Lillian and I just talked about ourselves, our upbringing, what we wanted out of life. Just about everything. Lillian was from just outside Lexington, Kentucky, and I was born at Beale AFB near Marysville, California, and raised in Texas, outside Austin. My dad had bought 10 acres outside Round Rock and built a house and 3 outbuildings for his hobbies. I didn't say anything about my current troubles, but I did talk about Mary, Sean, and our life up until my deployment. I couldn't believe it when I looked at my watch, and it read 9:15. We had talked for over 3 hours. We said our goodbyes and promised to meet again for meals, maybe a movie or working out. Tom and I went over to the communications tent to see if I could maybe call Mary on Skype to give her my usual call. It was mid-morning at home, about 10:30 a.m., so she should have been home working on the books for Friday's payday. There was a free computer, so I signed in, got online, and called Mary. She picked up and got on the computer right away. She was dressed in a nice blouse, and her hair was okay, except for a small patch sticking up in the back. I wondered about that. We talked the same loving conversations we normally had. I had Tom say hi too, and we watched the background real carefully to see if there were any more stray people moving around. Right toward the end of the call, Tom noticed a shadow on the wall behind Mary of some man. The image was very faint, like the light from in front of Mary wasn't strong, but the image was there. I got a sudden frown on my face, and Mary noticed. "Bill, what's wrong, baby? You've got a funny look on your face. Is something wrong there?" "No, honey. I thought I saw something behind you on the wall, but it must have been an image from a passing car or something." "No, I'm fine here. I hope you aren't missing me too much." "Oh, Bill, you have no idea how much I miss you, darling. I miss your strong arms around me and your loving kisses. I especially miss your body next to me all night long. I really can't get into that more, or I'll start crying about how much I miss you. I love you. Talk to you soon." And the picture cut off. Since I had called her, the picture might have gone, but the audio was still on, and I heard Mary and some man laughing, and then the connection went dead. Tom and I were about to laugh out loud ourselves, because when Mary was describing what she was missing about me, the shadow in the background was mimicking her speech. Now, more than ever, I knew just what kind of person my wife was. I made a decision right then that Mary would never see her son again. I immediately called my parents. "Mom, I need you and Dad to go to Florida and get Sean. Say that you really need to spend some time with him. Mary is cheating on me, and if Sean stays at the Wilsons, Mary is going to try to see him. Once she's served, she'll try to take him away from me." My mother put her hand across her mouth. "She's doing what? What happened?" "Of course, we'll do it, but why so sudden?" "Mom, I just found out Tuesday that she was cheating on me. A friend, Don Sterling, called me. You might remember him from when you and Dad came down to Florida. He and Marie were the couple you met that lived around the corner from us. Well, anyway, he walked in on her and some guy in the kitchen. He called me after he took a picture of them. A divorce is in the works, and right now, Sean is with Sam and Misty this week. I think Mary is going to get him this weekend, so you two need to go down quick. I don't want Sean around her. I would like to think she would hold off on bringing people into our home when our son was there, but I don't know for sure. Bill, honey, I'll talk to your father, and we'll get there as soon as we can. I'll try to call Misty and see if we can stay there for a bit. We'll be close in case you need us. Will you be coming back to end this soon, or are you going to have to stay over there and do this long distance?" "I'm not too sure, Mom. I should know more tonight. I have an appointment with my lawyer over here. He's been super nice and helping me. He had someone break his heart a long time ago, so he knows what I'm going through. It sure has helped that Tom has been there for me, too. He's been a rock for me. He says hi. Mom, he's there with you now. Have him come into the picture. I need to say something to him. Tom dragged a chair over next to me and said, "Hello again, Mom. I think I can call you that since I really don't get to say hi to mine too much. She doesn't have a computer with a camera, so I only get to see her when she's at the library. Tom, you can call me Mom anytime. You've been there for my Bill and helping him cope with this tragedy. That tells a lot about a man. You give me your mom's address, and we'll get her a camera for her computer so you can see her and talk to her like my Bill does with us. Mom, please, you don't have to do that. I've tried to get her to get a new laptop so we can talk, but I think she doesn't want me to see her new boyfriend. Since Dad died 2 years ago, she hasn't dated much. But the phone was answered a couple of times by a man, and then they hung up right away, saying I had the wrong number. I know it's not the wrong number because when I call again, either my mom answers or it goes to voicemail. I think she's embarrassed that she has someone and thinks I won't approve. I think I need to write her a long letter explaining that it's time she met someone. Oh, Tom, that's what you should do. I'm sure that would allow her to finally come clean with you about this mysterious man who has answered the phone. Sometimes we forget that our baby boys are all grown up and have become men without us realizing how or when. Now you boys get going. I need to get David up to speed and get moving toward Florida. We love you both, and Bill, we'll get through this, just like any other problem or crisis, you hear me? Yes, Mom, I answered sarcastically. I love you too. Be careful on your trip. Are you going to fly or drive? I think we'll talk with Sam and Misty first, and then see what plans we need to make. Mom, don't tell Sam and Misty anything about the divorce or Mary's cheating. I don't want them to confront her about it until we get everything planned out and in motion. I want her to get the surprise I got when I found out about this too. So please don't say anything. Okay. All right, son. But I think we may sound them out to see what they would think about infidelity. They know about long absences too. We'll let you know what we find out, and keep us informed too. Love you. Bye. I love you too, Mom. Bye. Tom said, "Man, your mom is so cool about all this, but I bet she's seething inside. I could see some fire in her eyes after you told her about the cheating. When do you normally call your in-laws? Now might be a good time. No one is waiting. And I'm sure you want to see Sean, right?" Thanks, Tom. Give me a minute to compose myself. I got a little bummed there at the end. Why don't you see if you can get us a beer? I think I need one right now. Yes, sure, buddy. I'll be right back. I steeled myself and called the Wilson home on my phone. Misty answered after about 4 rings. Hey, Bill. How you doing? You want me to get on Skype so you can talk to Sean? Oh, that would be great. I haven't had the chance to talk to him this week. I just found out he was over there. We hung up, and soon I could see she was online, so I called on Skype. Misty, you look great. I hope Sean hasn't been too hard on you older folks this week. Oh, you Bill. Sean is never a bother. He is such a sweet child. Sometimes I wish you had a dozen more just like him. I saw Sean come into the room and put his arms up so he could sit on Misty's knee. Hi, Daddy. I miss you. When are you coming home? Mommy misses you too. Hey, I miss you too, buddy. I don't know when I will be home, but I think I might be able to in a little while. Like maybe next month. I think we get a break about halfway through our tour, but maybe not. I think it depends upon where you are and what's going on. Oh, goody, Daddy. I sure miss you a lot. Are you being a good boy for Grandma and Grandpa? I've been good, Daddy. Haven't I, Grandma? Yes, Sean, you have been a real good boy for Grandma and Grandpa. Are you okay over there, Bill? Is there something wrong? Misty asked. No, things are fine here. I think I'll be busy for a while. so it may be a little while before I can get back to you again. So Sean, you be a good boy for your grandparents, and take care of your mommy for me, okay? Okay, Daddy, I'll take care of mommy for you. Can I go play now? Yes, you can go play. I love you, buddy. I think I had tears slowly working their way down my cheeks as I said that last part. Misty noticed that, and as she let Sean down, he said, I love you too, Daddy. Come home soon. He jumped down and ran out of the room. I closed my eyes and said a silent prayer. Please, please, Lord, take care of my son and don't let anything harm him. Bill, there is something wrong, isn't there? I can see it in your eyes. What's wrong? Are you hurt or going on some dangerous mission? Misty, it is not something I can talk about right now, but I think there are going to be some changes coming. Oh yes, by the way, I talked to my mom tonight before I called you. She and Dad are talking about coming down to see you and the family. She thought they would be coming soon. They've been planning this for some time now, but I just got wind of it tonight. Some surprise, huh? They want to take Sean to Disney World. You guys could go too. Wouldn't that be great? Bill, I know you almost as well as I know my daughter. Now, what is going on? Believe me when I say I can't say right now. Maybe next week or the week after, I can tell you all about it. But right now, it has to remain a secret, okay? Please. Well, I think I may do some investigating and see what my friends know that I don't. Misty, please. I pleaded. This has to stay a very big secret, even for Mary. Well, especially for Mary. I can't say how much I wish that you didn't even know as much as you do. Please, for me, just leave it alone for now. Please, I beg of you. Okay, but I expect some answers soon. Understand? Yes, ma'am. I promise you will know pretty soon what this is all about. I love you guys so much, so please wait, okay? Bill, I will want some straight answers soon. We both love you a lot too, so the sooner, the better, or I will worry myself sick. I promise that as soon as I can tell you what is going on, I will. I love you guys too. You may not know just how much, but I do. We'll talk soon. I got to go. Bye. I shut the Skype down and sat and cried again. I so wanted to trust them, but I just couldn't until I sat face to face with them, or until Mary was served, whichever came first. Tom came back with a beer for each of us, and we headed back to our tent for a little pity party. We sat, talked, and waited until 11:30 p.m., nursing our beers. We talked a little, but mostly we just sat and contemplated our lives and the people in them. I told Tom about my conversation with Misty, and he thought she was maybe headed in the wrong direction, but it was hard to determine. We thought she might be thinking about me coming home, or maybe some special mission that was coming up. Other than that, it was still a mystery as to what she thought she might know. It was time to eat something now, so we left for the chow hall, or whatever they called it in the army. We met up with Lillian and Amy and headed in. We sat and talked while we had breakfast. Then it was time to go. Lillian and Amy left first, as they were scheduled to be on duty from midnight till 8. Tom and I left shortly after and headed for the headquarters building to see Colonel Lane. As we walked into the JAG office, I said, "Hello again, Sergeant Rester. We have a 300 appointment with Colonel Lane. I believe he is expecting us. I'll let him know you're here. Just a moment, please." Sergeant Rester went in through the hallway door and came back 5 minutes later. "Follow me, please. The Colonel is ready for you now." Tom and I went into his office and sat in the 2 chairs in front of his desk. He was on the phone but about to hang up. We kept quiet and waited our turn for his attention. He soon hung up and turned to us. "Sergeants Watson and Cassini, it's so good to see you again, boys. I have some good news, and some even better news for you. Then, I have some great news for both of you. Let me start with the good news. Your lawyer in Florida will take your case for the divorce pro bono. His name is Walter Gronblatt. He does the civil work, and Ernest Stein handles the criminal cases, so no worries there. Also, from the information that Mr. Sterling has obtained, there will be no question of infidelity and adultery. With the evidence so far, there should be no contest, especially since you are a military man on overseas assignment. Now, for the even better news. Your company is not going to be part of the divorce, except that she will have a claim to part of the company. That isn't as bad as it sounds, however. Because her actions are the reason for the divorce, that will be considered by the judge. Since her name is not listed as an officer of the company, her claim is fragile. Florida is not a community property state, but it does have a marital and non-marital property clause. Because you started the company while you were married, she is entitled to some compensation depending upon the ruling by the judge. Mr. Grumblatt is pretty sure that the judge will award her some monetary value for her work as an employee of the company. Is your wife paid by the company, or do you both share the profits? Colonel Lane, we both get a salary from the company. All profits go into a trust fund for our son's college education. We keep a certain amount out for maintenance and supplies, but the rest goes into the trust. Why, son, you have to be the smartest husband I know, or you have a great advisor. With the company set up like that, she can't touch a bit of the assets. They all belong to your son. And the executor of the trust, who is that, you or your wife? Please tell me it's someone else. Actually, it's his godfather, Don Sterling. It's in our wills that if anything happened to us, he would take over the company, custody of Sean, and be the executor of our estate, as well as the trust. You know, I'm not even sure Mary remembers that we set the trust up. We can put money into it, but we can't withdraw any until Sean is 18. My God, Bill, who had you set this up this way? My dad did. He told me that would be the best way for Sean to have the money when he needed it for college. What a stroke of genius. Your dad was right. This trust is foolproof, and only the executor or the parent can get the money for college for your son. Well, it's actually for any and all of our children. I seem to remember that Dad had it written so that it would apply to all children born of the union of Bill and Mary Watson. Oh, wow. That means that even if Mary had another child by someone else, they wouldn't be covered by that part, said Tom. So long as we can prove that the child is not yours by a DNA and blood test. Oh my God. I just had a thought. What if Sean isn't mine? Oh God, I don't want to even think about that. I broke down. The colonel was on the phone in a moment, as soon as he found the phone number he was looking for. Walter, this is Charles Lane again. Is there any chance we can get a DNA test run on the son, Sean Michael? Yeah, saliva would be good. Check with the birth hospital. See if they did a workup on him when he was born. A lot of hospitals do that now. Yeah. Do you have a copy of the trust fund set up for the boys' college? Good. Read it through very carefully. I think we have an ironclad document for that. And Bill tells me they both get paid a salary from his cleaning company, and all profits go to the trust. Yeah, very smart move. Uh-huh. Yes. No. All right. You get back to me as soon as you can. Thanks. You too. Bye. Bill, I'm more surprised by you in this case, the more I find out. Now for the great news. You two leave on a mission tomorrow night, and you should only be gone about 3 or 4 days. You'll get to cool down before you're done with it. Then maybe a day here, and you are homeward bound for 15 days leave. Now I can swing Tom too, if you think you will need him home with you. I can tell that you two have bonded into a partnership that is going to be a little hard to break up after this is all over. Colonel, as much as I would like Tom to come too, I don't think that is fair to him. Besides, Don will be there for me. Don and I met in basic training, and we've been together since. He's kind of like my brother, or maybe my twin, but not like Tom and me. We're like twins, for sure. I think anyone can see that's true. So, what's the verdict? Is Tom going or staying? Sir, if I may say something on my behalf, I would love to go with Bill, but I met someone yesterday. We have a lot in common, but I'm not sure where we're going with this, so if it's all the same to you, I'd like to stay. I don't have a girlfriend back home at either McGuire or Patrick, and I would hate to lose this opportunity because I left for a while. I hope you understand. Bill. Tom, I would never forgive myself if I ruined your chance with Amy. She seems like the right girl for you. Growing up 50 miles apart gives you guys so much in common to start with that I can't, in good conscience, be that selfish. Stay, and I hope there is something good for you to tell me when I get back here. Oh yes, before I forget, I need you both to sign this fact document. Bill, where it says your name and today's date, and Tom, where it says witness name. I'll fax this back to Walter, and we can work on getting Mary served. Can we wait on serving her until I get home? I think I would like to surprise her with it after I get back home, like maybe 15 minutes after I walk into the house. Oh man, Bill, that's cold, Tom said. I just want to see the look on her face when she reads the papers. I think that will be some payback for the surprise I got with Dawn's phone call. Tom's right. That is cold, but I heartily approve. If you can take a picture of her face, I would like to see that. That might give me a little boost in the payback department, even though it will be by proxy. No problem, Colonel. I'll make sure that happens just for you. But if her reaction is like I think it will be, I may blow it up to 11 by 17 and hang it in the living room. I'm not too sure that would be right. What would your son think of that? I guess you're right, Colonel, but it sure would remind me that not all women can be trusted. I think that's a very true statement. Well, I have more work to do, so why don't you two go back to your tent and see about some sleep? You may not get any for the next few days. I don't really know all the particulars of your next mission, but Major Kelly assured me that you two were the only ones to accomplish this one. So good hunting and comebacks, so we can get you on a plane ride back home. Thank you, Colonel, for everything you've done so far, and everything you still have to do. I'm not sure I really deserve all this help, but I thank you. And I'm sure if my son knew, he would thank you too. That goes double for me too, Colonel. Bill is my best friend, and as he said, we're like twins, so what hurts one of us hurts us both. You both have something special in your relationship. I wonder what will happen once your tours are over, and you have to be separated by transfers. Oh, we've already planned for that. We've talked about it when we are out in the field. We will be best friends for life. We will always know where we are, and maybe once we retire, we'll settle down in the same vicinity, or maybe not. Who knows? My dad has friends all over the world. He corresponds with them about monthly, some daily, since they are all on the internet and emailing back and forth. They reminisce about the old days and talk about what they're doing now. Dad says that it really helps to have friends all over. That way, you're never lonely or alone. You have a very smart dad. I think I may keep that in mind and see if I can contact some of my friends I've lost touch with over the years. Since I'm still in the service, some of them might be too, and I'll see if I can track them down. Thank you, Bill. That's a great idea. Now, go get some rest. I'll take care of things here, and Walter will keep things working back home. Don't you worry about anything but coming back mellow from your little outing. Thanks for everything, Colonel. See you soon. Thanks from me too, Colonel. My brother needed help, and I'm sure glad you were here for him. We do what we can, Tom. That's why we're here, to help those who need help. We left the Colonel's office, and I stopped out at the reception area and told Lillian, Sergeant Rester, we will be gone for a couple of days, for work. But when we get back, I know Tom here would like to see Amy again. As for me, well, when I get back from handling my problem, I hope that you would be available to talk to too. I'm not trying to make any commitments or anything, but I'd like to get to know you a lot better. Sergeant Watson, I think I would like that a lot. I'm not attached right now, and I think I may leave myself open to entertaining a flyboy for a change. Tom piped in, Oh, so no more ground pounders or jarheads for you now. I wouldn't want to commit to that just yet, but I do know one jarhead that kind of likes a certain flyboy she met not long ago. You guys get out of here. I understand that you have some work to do, so go do it. "Thank you, Sergeant. I hope to see you soon," I said as we walked out. "Bill, I think we may have stumbled into something we need to contemplate long and hard on. Then either run like hell or stop running. I'm just not sure which right now." "I think you're so right, brother. Sleep does sound good right about now, though." 5 days later, we were brought back in on a helicopter after our mission. 8 confirmed and 4 possible. We hit a cave up in the mountains near Dar. The insurgents were using a camouflage tarp to cover the entrance. They would trek down this one valley, and about daybreak, they would drive their vehicles into this cave, then wait for nightfall again to move back out and travel down the valley to resupply troops. We counted 5 trucks full of cargo, and we think there were 12 men with the convoy. We followed them by infrared down the valley. Then they kind of disappeared. I marked the area, and we looked very closely in the daylight. The second day we were there, I noticed what looked like a rock moving, or waving in the wind. How could that be? That's when I noticed the tarp, and then it was just a matter of waiting for them to emerge into the night and pick them off. We later learned when the Marines moved in that there really were 12 confirmed dead and a huge cache of weapons, food, and even bunks back in that cave. This was definitely a stopping over point for a major pathway down to the A1 highway. The Marines blew up the cave and all the things in it, except for the paperwork lying around. When we got back, we were so calm that we were floating on air. I made an appointment to see Colonel Lane, and he gave me my flight orders and some additional information. "Once you get back stateside, contact Major Kenneth Riley at this number. He will get you a flight down to Patrick. You'll be flying into Atlanta, then to Fort Stewart for a courier flight to Patrick. Once there, you will contact Walter Gronblatt at this number. He will set you up with the process server. He will drive you home, then knock 15 minutes after you arrive. Now the big question is, do you want to call your wife when you get to Atlanta or wait and surprise her? I think I would prefer that we be alone when she is surprised by the papers. What about Sean? Where will he be? It seems that your parents have arrived in Florida and are staying with your in-laws, and Sean is with them this week. Well, he will be when you get stateside. They picked Sean up today and are keeping him until Wednesday of next week. You will be getting in on Monday afternoon, and if things go right, you should be home by about 1400 hours. So calling her is up to you. Thanks for everything, Colonel. I'll make sure I get that picture of her surprise. My cell phone takes good pictures. You have some things to pack and a ride to catch so you can make that surprise happen. I wish you luck." "Thank you. I'll be back soon, I hope. I'll grant temporary custody of Sean to my in-laws since they are right there. Walter already has that paperwork ready for your signature. Thanks again. I'm here to serve our military. That's what I'm doing." I left and headed back to my tent and found Tom there with my bag all laid out, my underwear and socks already packed, and my extra uniforms were also packed. All I had left to pack were my toiletries and another pair of boots. All my Class A uniforms were back home. All I had here were my battle dress uniforms and some personal items. I hugged Tom, told him goodbye, and went outside to look for my ride out of there. A Hummer was sitting and idling outside the tent, and an Army PFC was holding the door open for me. I put my duffel bag in the back, and we headed out to the flight line. From then forward, the trip was a blur. I arrived in Atlanta at 6 a.m., and was escorted to a waiting Army helicopter to take me to Fort Stewart. Once I arrived, I had about an hour before my C-130 was due to take off for Patrick, AFB, Florida. I had time to call Mary. "Hello." "Hi, Mary. I'm in the States. Well, Georgia, actually, and I wrangled a flight home. I should be home this afternoon. I'll call when I get to Patrick. I already have somebody that's going to drive me to the house. Ain't this great? Bill, you're coming home today. But how? Why? I mean, wow. You said this afternoon, right? Do you know when exactly? I want to get ready for you. Your folks are here. Well, with my folks. They have Sean with them. Wait, you planned this all out to surprise me, right? No, my love. The only surprise I had in store for you was my visit. The other things are just gravy. I'll be home soon. I can't wait to see you and hold you again. I gotta run. See you soon. Bye-bye, baby. I love you. I hung up, and I could hardly keep the anger out of my voice. It was hard, but I managed it. I controlled my breathing, just like I did when I had someone set in my crosshairs. That calmed me down sufficiently so that I could go on. I called Walter and arranged for a courier to pick me up. Now for the slow ride to Patrick, and then to meet the courier who would take me to my home. We touched down at Patrick and taxied up to the ops building. I warily got off and carried my half-filled duffel bag down the ramp. There was a civilian van with the name Melbourne Courier Service on the side. Beside the van stood a man of about 25, 6 feet tall, and built similarly to me, but with a head of bushy black hair. He was dressed in jeans and a polo shirt, and had a gun on his hip. He looked more like an off-duty cop than a process server or courier. Well, the sign said they were bonded, so maybe a gun wasn't so far out of character. I assumed he was here for me. I walked over to him. "I'm Technical Sergeant Watson. Are you here for me?" "Yes, Sergeant. I am your ride to your home, and I have a present for your wife. That present will be delivered exactly 15 minutes after you walk into your house. You're a little early. I wasn't expecting you for another half hour, but I was called while your aircraft was about an hour out and told of the earlier arrival time. Shall we go?" "Yeah, let's do this. I told Mary I would be home about 1400 anyway. Let's go. I'm tired and need to get this over with." "Sure thing. Climb in." I climbed into the passenger seat and buckled up. About 15 minutes later, I was getting my duffel bag out of the van when Mary ran out of the house, screaming my name. How could she act like that when she knew what she had been doing behind my back? I dropped my bag and let her jump into my arms. I kissed her and hugged her back. The tears I shed were not tears of joy, only sorrow. I grabbed my bag, and we went into the house arm in arm. "Honey, I am about parched. Military flights don't have flight attendants, and no drinks either. Besides, I can't remember when I ate last. Can we hold off the rushing to bed until I get some grub so I can fend off starvation in your arms?" "Of course, baby. I'll nuke you some leftover casserole and get you a soda. God, I'm so glad you're home." So I sat in my recliner in the living room. I couldn't stand the thought of sitting at the kitchen table. I think I would just sell that table and get a new one, just like the bed. Mary was talking a mile a minute out in the kitchen while she was getting me something to eat and drink. The drink came first, and she sat in my lap, kissing me until the microwave timer let her know my lunch was done. After a last kiss, she jumped up, ran to the kitchen, and came back with a steaming plate of tuna casserole. I had just put the plate on my table when the doorbell rang. Time for me to go into action. That's probably for me. I'm supposed to be getting some orders about when I have to go back. Let me get the door. Because of the way the server pulled up to my house, Mary hadn't seen the driver. When I opened the door and a stranger was there with a large manila envelope, Mary didn't seem concerned. "Is there a Mrs. Mary Watson here?" said the person at the door. "Honey, this guy is here for you, not me. You expecting anything?" "No, Bill, I'm not. I'm Mary Watson. Do you have something for me?" I got my phone out and was ready to take the picture. "Yes, ma'am," he said, handing her the envelope. "You've been served." He turned around and ran back to his van. "What's that, honey? How come you've been served with papers?" "I don't know, Bill. Let me see what's in here." She opened the envelope, pulled out some papers, read along the top of them, and then looked at me. I snapped the picture I was expecting. Then she fainted. I picked her up, laid her on the sofa, and went back to eating my lunch. She came to her senses a few minutes later and gave me one of the dirtiest looks I have ever seen. I snapped that picture too. "What did you expect? Did you think I would just sit by and let you betray me and not do anything about it? I am really disappointed in you. Did you think you could do all this behind my back, and I'd never find out? Bill, honey, it wasn't like that. It was just one time. I never meant to hurt you, but I was lonely. I love you so much, and I'm so sorry that you had to find out. I stopped her cold. It was not just one time. It was a lot of times with a lot of people, at least the ones I know about now. I mean, I could almost understand Dick Smothers and his charm, but Jamie Goodman, God, that man couldn't even get a date. And then there's that captain you've been seeing for over a year. No, Mary, I'm just glad I found out now. I'm leaving here. No, that's not right. You are leaving here. Go pack your bags and get out of my sight. I don't want to see your face around here. I'm going to see my son. Oh yeah, is he really mine? Do you even know? Mary was curled up into a fetal position on the couch, sobbing uncontrollably. I picked up the keys to my truck, grabbed my duffel bag, and left. I got as far as the corner of the street when I lost it. I sat hunched over the steering wheel and cried. It wasn't but about 10 minutes later that I saw Dick Smothers turn down our street and head for my house. I turned the truck around and drove back home. I came in, and Dick was trying to comfort Mary. Dick Smothers, leave immediately before I throw you out. Haven't you done enough damage to this marriage without adding to it with your presence? Hey, there's no call for that. I'm just trying to comfort her. Comfort her? She doesn't deserve any comfort. Did you think you were the only one? Oh my God, you did. She's had many, many others, Dick. I'm sure she told you that you were the one and only, right? Dick nodded, looked at Mary, and turned around and left. Bill, that was uncalled for. Why are you acting this way? We can work things out, right? Mary, our marriage is over. As soon as you signed those papers, well, actually, it was over the minute you were unfaithful. Just how far back does this go? I know about Lieutenant Gregory. That was almost 14 months ago. Does it go back even further? Answer me. Yes, he was the first one. When I found out that you didn't know, I figured I could have more. I just needed to keep it away from the house. Since I was scheduling the cleanings, I could schedule me some time too. Was I lacking in my love for you? Was our relationship so boring that you had to go find someone else? No, Bill, it was never about you. You were the best partner, the best father. I don't know why it happened. Well, I know why the first time. Philip told me I was the most beautiful woman he had ever met, and he just had to have me. I fell for it, and we had a fling that first time. It was so wrong. I didn't do anything more for almost 3 months. I was so ashamed, and I just knew you would find out. He called me again to set up a cleaning, and I probably should have sent one of the other girls, but I thought I could handle it. Well, I couldn't. He was so charming and forceful. After the second time, it became easier for me to do it again. You didn't seem to have a clue, so I never pressed it. I should have told you right after it happened the first time, but I just couldn't. Then, after a while, it became like a sickness. I needed more. I'm so sorry, Bill. I'll leave now. I'll pack up my things and go to Mom's. Oh yeah, your folks are there. Let me see if I can go to Susie Henderson's. I'll be gone. I'll go get Sean, and we will leave you to your new life. You will not touch Sean ever again. Do you hear me? I am not letting you near him. You are not fit to be his mother. You are nothing but a liar who doesn't deserve a child or a partner. Now sign those papers, and we all can go on with our lives. My parents are going to take Sean to Disney World with them for a little while, so you can explain to your parents why we are no longer together. You can also explain why they will be getting temporary custody of Sean until I can return from overseas, but you will have to tell them how much you messed up. I hope they can forgive you as I can't. It just isn't in me to do that. Yes, Bill. She pulled the papers out of the envelope and read them through, gasping at a few sentences. That must have been where they listed the evidence against her. She signed the last page, put them back into the envelope, and walked into the bedroom. I sat drinking my soda and leaving my barely warm tuna casserole on the table. Mary found me hunched over in the chair with my head in my hands, tears flowing freely from my eyes. I thought that I was all cried out by now, but I guess not. I heard her leave and then come back to take more things out to her car. She came back in one last time and knelt on the floor in front of my chair. "Bill, I'm so sorry I hurt you so much. I can never forgive myself for what I have done to our family. It was just a physical thing. It wasn't love. You gave me all the love I could ever ask for, and then some. But something inside me needed the attention. I think it was the forbidden nature that was the reason. I guess I am just a mess like you said, but I am sorry. Please explain to Sean that I'm sorry I hurt him too. Maybe you can tell him that I died, and he can get over me in time. I don't know what I'll do anymore. I'm not going to contest this, and what you are giving me is more than generous after what I have done to you. If there is anything else you find here of mine, call Susie, or just throw it out. I won't darken your door again, Bill. I still care for you, but I understand. Goodbye." She hugged me to her and kissed my head, then left. I sat there until the next day, not moving, not doing anything. I was numb. I was all cried out. I went to the bathroom, relieved myself, and then came back into the living room and started my phone calls. I called the courier service to come pick up the papers. I called the Wilson home and explained to Misty what all had happened. She was upset that I couldn't trust her to tell the truth the other night, but I think she understood. She hadn't heard from Mary yet but expected a call or maybe a visit today. I talked to my parents and asked them to take Sean to Disney World for a couple of days. They said they would love to, and that Sam and Misty were going to join them after a couple of days. They would give Mary time to contact her parents and explain her side. Yeah, her side. How could you explain betraying your partner for over a year without her sounding like a real mess? I called Walter and let him know the papers would be coming to him shortly. I wanted him to get the custody papers ready for the Wilsons to sign, since I was now essentially a single parent, but temporarily stationed overseas. I probably didn't raid a house on base anymore. I would need to have my cleaning service clean out the house and put all my stuff in storage. I don't think base housing would let it sit empty until I came back, with no one living there. They could, but since no one would be there, they would probably take it back and give it to another deserving family. I hope they had better luck with the house than I did. I downloaded everything from Mary's laptop. I did find a couple of interesting pictures. They were attached to some emails. I downloaded them onto a flash drive so I could give them to Walter when the courier came by to pick up the papers. Everything else was business-related. I called Susie and told her that she could pick up Mary's laptop anytime. I pulled off all the business stuff. I asked her if she knew what Mary had been up to. She swore that she didn't know, but that she would let Mary stay there for a couple of days until she found a place to go. I called Marie Sterling and asked if she knew anyone who could keep the business running. She said that Michelle Rossi and she could do it. I told her I already had everything loaded on my desktop, so she could just have that until I got back. Again, she told me how very sorry she was that this had happened to me. "Bill, I never knew until Dawn told me last week. I always thought you guys were perfect together. I guess you can't always see the forest for the trees sometimes. If you need anything, Dawn or I will be more than happy to help out. Thanks, Marie. I think I'm just worn out from everything hitting me at once." Mary didn't even deny it, although she only started out admitting one time. The first time Dawn caught her with someone. Then that guy came over here to try to comfort her until he found out he was not the first or only one. He left in a hurry then. "What about Sean? Do you have someone to care for him?" "Yes, Marie. His grandparents are going to have temporary custody until I get back in about a year. After that, I'm just not sure. But Mary won't be around. I made it very clear she is not to be around him. I'll tell him that she had to go away for a while. And then maybe when he's older, I'll tell him the truth. I don't even want to think about that now. Why don't you come over here for supper tonight? Bring your desktop and all the paperwork for the business. And Michelle, and I can get familiar with everything and take over from there. You don't want to stay there too long. Too many memories, and too many ghosts there for you. Come stay with us tonight. Okay, I'll be over for supper, but you might want to have Michelle, and you go through the cupboards and the fridge and take what you want. I'll throw everything else out. You're right. Too many memories, both good and bad. Here, I'll try to see about getting into the bachelor airman's quarters, at least until I can get everything in storage before I go back. Thanks, Marie, for just being there for me. You and Dawn have been lifesavers for me throughout this whole affair. Hey, Bill, what are friends for, if not to help each other when they're needed? You would do the same for us if the situation was reversed. So not another word. Just accept our help and love, and go on, okay? Yeah, I think I can manage that. I need to make some other calls. Do I need to bring something for tonight? If you have some beer, that would be great. I think we're low right now. Don has been hitting it pretty hard this past week. You know it has affected him too. You know, him walking in on her just hit him hard. I told him he had to call you right away. He waited till the next day, but I made him call. You needed to know what was going on. I hope you understand. Yeah, I understand perfectly. I'll explain more tonight when I come over. I had my partner, Tom Cassini, over there, and he helped tremendously too. Tom and I are like brothers from different mothers, but we're tight like brothers. I'm not sure I could have done this without his strength. See you tonight, Marie. The courier is here for the signed papers. See you tonight. I promise. Yes, Mom, I promise, I said, grinning. Marie could always make me laugh when she started that mother hen routine. Well, there isn't much more to tell about this part of my life. I survived the heartbreak and betrayal. Sean lived with his grandparents for the next year. When I came back, I had a new girlfriend, Lillian. She decided that maybe flyboys were all right. Her enlistment is up in another couple of months. She has to go back to Fort Hood. And then she's headed back here to be with me and Sean. Oh yeah, Sean loves her. He took to her right away. Sometimes when he was cranky or tired, he would say, I miss Mommy, but she was bad and had to go away. He's 4 now and smart as a whip. Misty had gotten him into a pre-K program, and he can read and write, both print and script. He can even count to 100. Misty says he'll be smarter than his dad pretty soon. I wouldn't doubt it. His dad was pretty dumb there for a while. Everyone, Sam, Misty, my parents, Dawn, and Marie, Tom, Lane, and especially Lillian, have been there for me when I needed them. They all, in many ways, have helped me get over my cheating spouse. I am a whole, sane person again, all due to their help. I shouldn't forget Walter too. He made things so easy and simple for me with all the paperwork, the hearing with the judge, and everything. Mary was at the hearing with a lawyer too. She found a job and is living in Orlando. She's close to her parents, but things have been rough for her. Her mom read her the riot act when she showed up at their house 3 days after I got home. I still don't think things are very cordial at their home with her, but it is getting better. Mary is also getting therapy as a condition of the divorce. She doesn't even have a boyfriend, according to her mother. Her mom says that she finally realized what she did and what effect it had on her life, so she has sworn off relationships for a while. As for me, I am slowly getting over the pain and sorrow, but Lillian helps. We are engaged now and planning a wedding after she gets out. Sean helps too, just by being with me. Sometimes he crawls into my lap when I'm in my recliner, and he just hugs me and says, "It will get better, Daddy." I know it will. Like I said, he is very smart for only being 4. I'm still working for the launch group as an avionics technician. I'm also due to sew on new stripes sometime this fall. There's a rumor that some of us avionics guys might be transferred to someplace further west. I've heard Barksdale, Tinker, and Davis-Monthan. It doesn't matter where I go. My family will be with me. Tom went back up to McGuire, and Amy still has 6 months left on her rotation, but she might actually be coming home sooner. Rumors again, you know. She plans to get out when her enlistment is up next year. They're engaged too. We popped the question to each of them the same night. Thanks to everyone who took the time to listen to today's stories. If you enjoyed it, please consider liking and subscribing if you haven't already. Feel free to share your thoughts on the events in the comments below. Take care.